Hey guys, Ezra here and welcome back to another movie review, and today we're gonna be reviewing K-pop Demon Hunters. And I know that this movie came out like several weeks ago, and I did watch it, on June 20 when it was first came out, a month ago actually, which is like yeah, a long time ago. But yeah, I didn't exactly review it because I thought that, well, I don't think anybody are talking about it, because I think it was like a random K-pop Demon Hunters movie. The trailer looks fun, so that's why I decided to watch it. But I didn't exactly review it because I thought that people don't really care that much. But I was wrong because people are actually really loving the movie, and to the point that they are asking for a sequel. There is some fan arts on Twitter. There is some conversation on how they love the three main characters, of the K-pop Demon Hunters, because obviously it's like they're good characters. I love them a lot, and yeah, it seems like a lot of people really enjoy this movie. So I thought that, well, I might as well talk about it, because I think it is a really fun movie, and I personally will also wanted a sequel. So this movie stars again follows like three K-pop stars, obviously named Rumi, Mira, and Zoe. Rumi is our main character, our lead girl, and there's also another main character named Jinu, which is the leader of the Saja Boys, which is the rival of like their, I think it's called Huntrix. I think that's what the K-pop's group call, Huntrix, I think. So we got Huntrix and Saja Boys. Anyway, I really enjoyed this movie. I think the animation is absolutely amazing. I love the facial expression of the K-pop girls, when they are eating their food in the plane. It was just like so, it was like over the top, but it was over the top in a good kind of way, and it kind of makes sense because it was made by Sony Picture Animation, so you definitely kind of get the Spider-Verse vibe in the movie. And it was a good thing because I absolutely love Spider-Verse movie. I love the animation style, and I'm glad that this movie actually has a style in terms of the animation. The facial expression is absolutely the best. I love them a lot. And I also love the action sequence as well. I think the best one, the best action sequence in the movie for me, it's actually when the girls are fighting in the bathtub, in the boys' bathtub. I guess that's like the best fight scene for me because it's all three of them wearing this like black clothes. I think that was like really cool looking, and they're just fighting a bunch of demons, and it was like really amazing. I love that a lot. And I think that's like the highlight of it, because I think the rest of the movie has some action sequence, but sometimes they just happen too quickly, or they have, some songs going along with them. And don't get me wrong, this movie has a lot of amazing soundtrack. The songs are great. Even the finale with the songs give me chills. I love it. But there is part of me that kind of wish that the action sequence was happening without any songs, because I think the action sequences are already great. So I don't think you need a song to accompany that. But then again, this is a K-pop movie, so obviously there's gonna be a bunch of songs on the movie. And again, I don't hate the song; they're great. They give me chills at times because they're so good. But I also wish that we get to see some action sequence without the song, because I want to enjoy the action sequence. I don't need the characters to sing every single minute, in my opinion, at least. I might be in the minority here, and I mean, that's fine. That's my opinion, and I would say the characters that I absolutely love in this movie is obviously Rumi, the true main characters, and then Gino, which is the leader of the Saja Boys, because Gino and Rumi, both of them have a dark past, and I think the movie really relies so much on these two backstory and chemistry together. There is so many scenes with just them basically talking about their problems, their past problems, because it was revealed that Rumi was actually part, half demon in a way, because like I think her mother was actually who was a hunter's. I think she married like a demon husband, and that's why Rumi is a half demon here. And ever since then, sadly, Rumi's mother passed away a long time ago, so she was taken care of by Celine, which is Rumi's foster mother. And Celine said that, well, Rumi needs to hide her demon marks, because obviously that's not gonna go well with his two best friends, which is Mira and Zoe. And it kind of becomes the storyline where you have to embrace yourself, and that's becoming that pretty much becomes what Rumi does in the end there, where she does she does embrace who she was, that she is indeed a half demon, and she's pretty hot looking, to be honest with you guys, with the demon marking in the end there. That was like really good looking, in my opinion. Even though it was supposed to be like dangerous or scary, but I don't know, man. I feel it feels like it looks good on her, and she decided to embrace that, which I think is a nice message in a way. And we got Gino, which is presumably, well, was not presumably, but I guess Rumi's, potential love interest, but that doesn't really happen. But yeah, Gino actually has a backstory that actually has a twist in it, which I kind of mix on it, because I think the way they develop Rumi and Gino relationship throughout the movie, they're fantastic. I love them. I love seeing their chemistry. I love their building their relationship together. Because I think the Sanja boys was actually sent by the main demon called Guima, played by Lee Byung-hun. And Guima basically orders the Sanja boys to sabotage the Huntrix. So because the demon world was obviously in hell, and the demon hunter's job is to basically guarding there is like a shield or something like that. That basically covers the doorway between the living and the dead. And I think there is a goal where they try to basically make their fans happy, with their positive energy, so they can like strengthen that shield, with the between the living and the hell. And because it was like so close to completion, that's why the Sanja boys was sent to stop the Huntrix, by basically using that idea of like K-pop and celebrity in South Korea, and then try to using them against the Demon Hunters. And it kind of works, because the Sanja boys are really handsome, and I think Gino, even like I love the introduction of Gino and Rumi, which is exactly how like the K-drama introduction, where you have like a Korean background song, and then you see like them in slow motion. They have like it's like a first it's like love at first sight in a way. But it kind of ends in a funny way where Gino was like not even helping Rumi, and these two ending up liking each other in the end, and even loving each other in a way. But there is a problem that I have with Gino character, where I think his backstory with the fact that he wants to take care of his mother and his little sister is like relatable. And I was like, oh, okay, like he's actually a really likable guy, and I like the chemistry between him and Rumi, and they even have like a fantastic song where Rumi and Gino basically kind of confess their feelings, that they were able to open about themselves with each other because they both have the same flaws. But after that amazing song, it was revealed that Gino backstory was actually a lie, because like he does get some help with Guima, but it's not like Guima is controlling Gino, but it's actually Gino decided himself that he wants to abandon his own mother and sister so he can create a better life for himself. So he's actually a selfish character, and that's why Guima was able to control him in a way. And I thought that was like, okay, that's an interesting twist. But the reason why I don't really like it is because like after that twist, Gino's character was just basically reduced, being like, okay, I'm evil now, so I'm just gonna betray you, Rumi. And I'm just like, okay, man. Again, in the end there, he did sacrifice himself to save Rumi by giving his soul for Rumi so he can become stronger, so I guess he does that in the end. But I feel like his character deserved better, in my opinion. I think the twist backstory with Gino, I think are interesting, but it kind of feels like his character kind of stops, and until the very end again, where he kind of redeemed himself for Rumi, and I was like, okay, well, I don't know, man. I think there is half of me just want Gino to be alive and then maybe get together with Rumi, because I think they're building that really, really well. But there's also another half where I think the twist backstory with Gino is kind of interesting, where like again, he's not exactly a good guy, and that's what Guima was able to manipulate him, So it kind of makes sense in the storyline. But there's also part of me was like, man, I kind of like sympathize with Gino, and now I don't really do that, because his character just kind of stops caring about it, and it's just like, yeah, I don't know, I'm kind of 50-50 about that, It's not exactly bad, but I'm kind of like torn between like having a consistent backstory that Gene was actually just simply trying to help his mother and his sister, versus the twist where he actually abandoned his mother and his sister. So yeah, I don't know, guys. So let me know, guys, like, what do you guys think about Gino's backstory? Do you guys actually like the twist there, or do you guys actually like or do you guys actually just wanted the backstory to be consistent from beginning to end, and do you guys want to see Romeo and Juno together? Because I know it's impossible because he's already dead in the movie, but in the world of like Demon Hunters and Soul, I think there is some way for Juno to come back, I hope they do make a sequel, because this movie is very popular on Netflix, So I'm hoping in the sequel, in the next movie, Gino can come back in some way because I like his character and I think he deserves like a lot like a better fate, And I want to see Rumi and Gino together. I'm just saying, man. And it's kind of funny that in the later part of the movie where we see the characters like signing fans, the poster with between the Huntrix and the Sanja boys, and then we see the fans shipping Rumi and Gino. It's like, yeah, I mean, I ship them a lot. I think they have great chemistry as well, and it's kind of funny to me, because like that's not how the real K-pop fans operates. I don't think they're gonna ship their favorite K-pop band with another K-pop band. That never happens before, which I think that makes it even funnier that the portrayal in this movie is very different compared to the real life K-pop fans. I think this adds layer to the comedy there, at least in my opinion. So yeah, I would say the musical sequence in this movie is obviously amazing. They're fantastic. The final battle with Guima and the Demon Hunters is absolutely fantastic. Like, I got chills, when they are singing and battling at the same time, because again, I love them a lot, and I think they did a great job for, whoever wrote the songs, in this movie, absolutely fantastic. I love them a lot, and yeah, so great animation, great action sequence. I wish there's more action sequence, to be honest with you guys. And I kind of wish that Mira and Zoe can have more counter arcs, because like the backstory between Mira is like she basically came from like a wealthy background, but was considered a black sheep of her family because of her rebellious nature. And I feel like we don't really explore Mira's backstory. We explore Rumi's backstory and Gino's backstory, but not Mira. Mira just like, here's the backstory, and then we never really explored that, so that was kind of disappointing. And we have Zoe backstory, which is basically like she's basically like a bit more like a bit more like having an anxiety that she's not perfect enough, so that she wants to be the best as she can be. And that's pretty much like her backstory, where she has some anxiety, I'm assuming, that she's not good enough and that she's not trying hard enough. And I think it's also a good backstory for Zoe, but again, nothing really came from the backstory, so I think that's why it was the disappointing part about this movie, is that you have the three girls, in the poster called K-pop Demon Hunter, but Rumi is the only one they give focus on, and Gino, which is not even a part of the Huntrix band, and you have Mira and Zoe, which is the official member of the Huntrix, and then you never really do anything. Then the movie does never really delve into anything interesting between Mira and Zoe, and that's kind of disappointing for me, because I think there is a lot more potential with Mira and Zoe. And maybe in the sequel they're gonna change the protagonist, maybe because Rumi already has her backstory, so maybe in the second one Mira could be like the main protagonist, and maybe in the third one Zoe could be the main protagonist. Who knows? It could work, because I want the second movie to explore her backstory and explaining that why she becomes this rebellious daughter, and maybe proving to her family that, hey, I have a successful life. Clearly she has a successful life, but I want to see what her family thinks of Mira becoming a K-pop star, and yeah, it's just like an interesting backstory between Mira and Zoe that they don't exactly explore that much in this movie, which is kind of disappointing. That they're just side characters where there's a moment where they kind of like disappears into the background, and it was like, I don't know, kind of disappointing for me, but maybe in the sequel they will explore that further, And I think another disappointing aspect about the movie is actually the character Celine, which is Rumi's foster mother. There is a scene in the third act of the movie where Rumi basically reveal her demon marks, in front of her foster mother, and then Celine was not able to look at her own, I guess, daughter in a way, because again she did raise Rumi by herself there. So yeah, again, she couldn't even look at Rumi at that moment because of the demon marking, and it was like, God damn it, lady, like, what the fuck, man? Like, Rumi was just like, basically, again, this is who she was, there is nothing that she can do. But for some reason, Salim was just unable to look at Rumi because of her demon marks. And I was like, man, I really hate the characters now. Like, what the hell, man? Like, Rumi deserves a better life, because Salim tries to tell Rumi that, hey, we need to keep it a secret, we can't tell this secret to the other K-pop members, because obviously Mira and Zoe are gonna start to hate you, which is exactly what happened in the movie. But I feel like there is a moment where she's not even able to look at her own daughter in that way. It's absolutely insane for me, And again, I know that Rumi and Celine is not, it's not actually mother and daughters, because like Rumi's mother already passed away a long time ago. But considering Celine already raised Rumi since childhood, then I think they could be considered mothers and daughter in a way. And I think, wow, like you can't even look at your own daughter because of the demon marking, which is like, it was disappointing because there is nothing came from it, because the last time we see them is the scene where she's not even looking at Rumi. She can't look at Rumi because of the demon mark. And by the time you get to the end there, where they defeated Guima and basically seal the hell, seal the hell wall, I would say, between the living and the hell, it was like, okay, so the mission was complete, but we never really get back to Celine there. And I thought it was like kind of disappointing because I want to see Celine as basically accepting the fact that Rumi was actually a part demon, because as much as she raised Rumi and tried to care for Rumi, it's pretty clear that she was hurt by the fact that Rumi was actually a half demon. That's why she can't look at her. But nothing came from it. That's the last scene we see Celine, and then we never get to see a conclusion towards those sequence that I think is really hurtful for Rumi's character. Because I get it in the end that Rumi and Mira and Zoe, they basically are friends again, realizing that, well, not all demons are bad. Like Rumi is still our friend despite the fact that she's half demon, and the movie kind of ends with them greeting their fans and caring for their fans again, instead of like doing the couch time, which is really funny, But yeah, it's a good end, but I kind of wish that there is I kind of wish the movie kind of solved or conclude Celine's characters, because I feel like it's like a loose ends here, and then this movie has some loose ends with Mira's character, Zoe character, and Celine's character, and I think that could be a way for them to explore in the sequel, maybe. And I also think that I don't think the demon is completely gone. They just sealed in hell, so they must have found a way in the sequel maybe to find a way to break the shield so they can like infiltrate the real world again. So also, guys, the giant tiger. My God, I love the giant tiger so much. So yeah, either way, guys, that's my review and my thoughts for K-pop Demon Hunters. I still think this is like a really, really fun movie. I'm having a fun time watching it. I love the characters, I love the action sequence, I love the music, especially I love the animation, I love the characters. I think the characters are good enough, but of course, not all of them are explored enough in the movie. So maybe in the sequel they could do that. Hopefully. But either way, guys, that's my thoughts on K-pop Demon Hunter. I like it, so let me know in the comment section below what do you guys think about K-pop Demon Hunters. What is your favorite part about the movie, what is your favorite song in the movie, and what is your criticism about K-pop Demon Hunters, and what do you guys think about my criticism about the movie. Do you guys agree with my criticism, or do you guys want to add something new to the criticism? Then share your opinions in the comment section below. And if you guys enjoy this video, then make sure to guys sing that subscribe and like button, share the videos to your stuff, and stay there for more videos in the future, guys. And again, I hope you guys enjoy this review, and I will see you guys in the next one then. Bye.